Welcome to our executive interview series at the UiPath on Tour Public Sector Summit, produced by FedScoop. I'm Wyatt Cash, and we're here with Dan Miller, Director of Defense Solutions at SAP. Dan, thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. Good to be here.
So the question I have for you today is, what do you see as the most significant cultural or organizational shifts required to integrate and scale automation initiatives within government agencies successfully?
I think the biggest barrier to adoption of these technologies inside the government, and for me, particularly the Department of Defense, is current policies and regulations. Without a change to current policy and regulations, adoption of any type of automation is going to be difficult, if not impossible. I'll give an example. One of the agencies that I support had installed RFID gate readers at every single dock door. Those that are in place, modern technology should speed up and make the warehouse operations significantly more efficient. After about 4 or 5 years, they removed those gate readers because the policy said that they had to open and count every single box that was incoming from the marketplace, from the suppliers that they were buying for, in order to assure government auditability. And so we saw a reversal of modern technology and automation because of a perceived government policy that was still in place to open and do a kick and count with a human on every single box. Obviously, if that's our policy and we're going to leave those regulations in place, then going to agentic automation with AI is going to be an impossible endeavor. And so those typical policies that we see across the government that prevent non-human automation have to be changed and have to be modified. I'm not asking the government to make a wholesale change to their policies without controls and review and assurances, but we're going to need to see an education of the government officials that control the policy. We're going to need to see people at the project level perform the org change management and make the assessment of things like the defense transportation regulations or the defense travel regulations and make changes in that. We've seen other projects where there's currently AI in place inside of travel applications that takes out the audit task from people and automates it so that people don't overcharge for meals, or they don't overcharge for mileage, or they don't charge for fuel when they didn't have a rental car. And yet, when we see it inside the government, we still stick with human auditing. And so programs that offered that AI capability for automating and making it more efficient have been reversed. And so certainly in my case, what I see is a change in policy is going to be required, and we're going to need to see action on multiple levels to make that happen. The cause, of course, is always, oh, well, Congress mandates that in law. That's not really the reality in every case. Now, there are cases where it is in statute, and statute will need to be changed, and Congress will need to take action. But many of these things are just policies that are in place inside of the agency. There are regulations, there are instructions, there are directives, and those can be changed by the leaders of those agencies, provided that they get the right input from the lower level, from the GS-15s on up and the SESs, to make those changes. Once we see those changes happening successfully, with controls, with audits and reviews in place, we'll start to see more broad adoption of agentic AI and automation in general from a technology basis.
Those are some great observations, and clearly regulations that were probably well intended just layer on top of each other, and after a while you realize what an obstacle they become, right?
Yeah, those regulations and the policies and procedures were put in place, but they were also put in place on top of a technology base that existed. In some cases, let's go back to the 1940s and 1950s, pre-automation, pre-computerization. And the landscape has changed for how the business is executed today inside both the federal civilian side and the federal defense side. And we need to modernize our policies and regulations to adapt to current technologies if we want to become the most efficient that we can be.
Well, Dan Miller, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us here at the UiPath on Tour Public Sector Summit.
Thank you very much. Enjoy speaking with you today.